Hello, Scott Paradis here. I'm continuing with my sneak peek on my money game project. I've moved to the second section, which is, I've tentatively titled One Tech to Rule Them All. I'm getting at this idea of our preference for violent play in the money game and in all aspects of life, quite frankly, and why we continue to prefer a violent game to a collaborative and cooperative game. So the question that I posed is conquest or progress? In the book, I'm going to use a story about Genghis Khan and his conquest of Eurasia. Now, there are a lot of notable conquerors throughout history. Names like Napoleon, of course, and Alexander the Great, Hannibal, Charlemagne, Caesar, Pizarro. These are all men who have conquered large swaths of the globe. The question, and I've posed this question before, why do we keep going through this cycle of we go to first we're more like an anarchy, and then we come together, we learn to come together, we learn to collaborate and cooperate, and we create an economy and we create money to facilitate the economy, and then we get more focused on power. And greed seems to dominate until eventually we go through a very violent transition to start all over again. It is a cycle that we keep repeating. The question that I'm posing to you today is, why do we prefer violent play to a cooperative or collaborative play? And I'd like to get your thoughts. Why is that? We're in charge of the game. We make the determination. We set the rules. We determine how we play. But the cycle that repeats, it has repeated for 10,000 years, all of human civilization. That cycle is that we come together, we connect, collaborate, and create in a productive way where we can actually prosper as a society. We begin to prosper. We create money. Then we empower money, then the focus goes on the money, which then changes the dynamics of the game back to a taking game, back to a violent game, where we're about status and power. Status and power. Why do we always go through this cycle? Why do we? So the question, you think about these conquerors. The question that I ask about these conquerors, is it progress? It's got us to where we are today. But could we be much further along if we made different choices, if we made better choices, if we made collaborative, creative, cooperative choices instead of aggressive, destructive choices? There's this idea associated with Darwinism and other philosophers, thinkers, who've talked about creative destruction. That is, we have to destroy. So death precedes life. We destroy so that we can go through a transition, a deliberate transition, and something new will emerge. So is it a requirement that it always has to be a violent, destructive transition? Or can we choose a better game? Can we decide that we're going to play by different rules and play in a different way? You see how this relates to the money game? The last session that I did was this idea of we have a game that may be stacked against us. Most people are losing the money game. So most people believe that the odds are stacked against us, but it's our game. We're the ones that make the choice to play the game and decide how we play the game. It's all made up. It's all just a brilliant, imaginative game. We can change the game. We can change how we connect, collaborate, create, and produce and prosper for everyone. It's all right in front of us. All we have to do is decide we're going to play by different rules. We're going to play the game differently. We're going to play the game cooperatively, collaboratively, creatively, instead of destructively and violently. Now, I'm not saying I'm leaning in one direction or the other. Well, we may continue to go down the violent path. We may choose to do that, have that experience over and over and over again. Eventually, it's going to dawn on us that there is another option. There is another better option. And that is to play this connect, collaborate, and create game, a making game instead of a taking game. So all of those conquests, all of those violent conquests, was it just conquest for power and destruction, or was it progress? The initial argument, the thought, it brought us to here, right? Yes, we're here. We've made some progress. But where could we have been had we chosen to connect, collaborate, and create sooner and on a broader scale across society? If we had chosen a better game, don't you think the results would be better? I think the results would be better. And I think we can change on a dime now if we want to. If we want to change the game, it's up to us. All we have to do is change the rules and change how we play. I know it sounds simple. It is simple, but we still have to do it, which is going to take some courage and some action. But it's up to us. It is up to us. We decide the adventure that we want to experience. So, my question, is it conquest or progress? What do you think? Put your comments. Let me know what you think. Is this making sense to you? Under this umbrella of the money game, we can play a taking game or we can play a making game. What I'm advocating is we should choose the making game, but I'm not saying that we will. I just am hopeful and optimistic that we will choose a better game, but it's only that we first got to understand we're playing a game and the game is made up and we're in charge. We are in charge. We're in charge of the rules of the game and how we play. So let's choose a better game. Conquering, is that what got us here? Or is it something else that would help us progress a little faster? Let me hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. Post your comments, share the video. Let me know what you think. I will see you again soon.